This is our all levels Pilates class, so suitable for everybody. I'm always going to give as many different ways to adapt and modify as I can, and you need your resistance band. So I want you to start by just wrapping your band, open it up so it's not all screwed up. Take it across the front of the rib cage, cross it around behind you, and then bring it out like so, like a nice cummerbund. And we're just going to take a moment to think about our breath. I want you to come into a Pilates V. Heels are together, feet are turned away, and just gently pull, not so much that it's feeling uncomfortable. Okay, and I want you just to work at breathing into the band. So make sure it's up above your ribs. It's not down here. So it sort of sits just under your bra line. Okay. And just feel the band expand on that in-breath. And as you breathe out, try and pull your ribs away from the band. Tighten up. Ribs drawn down and in. Give me 1 second, sorry. And again. So tighten that band and feel your ribs expanding and pressing into the band. And then as you breathe out, pull your ribs back down and away. So you're not obviously using your hands to press your ribs or whatever. You're feeling the muscles. You're becoming familiar with the muscles. I'm just going to mine up a little bit more, actually. Sorry. So just going to take it around like so. Try not to get it all rucked up. Yes, I do feel like I'm wearing my cummerbund here. Okay, so work at breathing just into the band, okay? So as you breathe in, try to stretch the band. Keep your shoulders relaxed and down, drop them down. And what you can do is put your one hand across your tummy and make sure with the breath that you're not letting your belly lift and lower, okay? So you're staying quiet here. You've got just a gentle connection here. Expand the ribs. Draw the ribs back down. And think of that circular shape. Let's just do 2 more breaths here. Gently drawing your heels together. Shoulders are relaxed. Great work. Let's just do that one more time. And relax and take the band away. That's just a good little way. We can do it seated as well. It's just a good little way to become familiar with how we work into the ribs, how we breathe into the ribs. Now, what I want you to do is stand on the band with your right, sorry, let me start that one again. Lay the band along the floor in front of you. Let me start that one again. Stand on the band like so. Press your right hand into the band. Hold the end of it with your left hand and just push it away. Whoop, not like that. And back down. Let me start that one again. I'm just going to tilt my screen. That's all gone very, very wonky. Let me just start that one again. So, lay the band along the floor in front of you. Take a stand. Press your right hand into the band. Hold it with your left, the end of it with your left hand. You'll need to have your hand, the band open. Palm presses into it. Now, lift up and come into a side bend. And then come back to the center and over to the other side. And again, come back up, press into the band, up and over into a side bend. It's offering you a little bit of resistance. And I want you to connect that with your breath and just feel the work around the waist. Side bend, lateral flexion. Let's do a couple more here. Taking your arm right up and over. And again, pressing into the band, pulling your hand up and over. And away, we're going to do that just another one time. And again, up and over. And come back. Okay, relax. Let's go to side 2. So just lay the band along the floor, take a stand. Left hand into the band. Obviously, it's up to you to adapt the length. And if you've got a very strong band, do bear that in mind. So pressing away that left hand and coming up and over. So we've been working on those waist muscles, getting those obliques to work. And now we want to feel how we're getting some movement through the spine and lengthening those muscles out. Great work. And again, reach up and over. Good. Let's just do a couple more here. And press into the band, coming right up and over. Last one like this. Press your hand into the band, into that reach up and over. Come back. Oh, and relax. And it really gets those waist muscles working, that little bit more resistance. So now just take the band away from it, hold on to it, doesn't matter. So now come back to your breath work. Use your hands if you like or not, that one's up to you. So come back to how we started and just visualize the ribs expanding away to the sides, to the front, to the back, and back down. So we've just got some movement through the spine, movement through those muscles, and imagine how the muscles lengthen as the lungs inflate, the lungs press into the ribs expand, the ribs press into the muscles lengthen. And then to contract, the lungs deflate, obviously, and we squeeze those muscles and pull them in. Great. Okay, now what I want you to do now, please, is stand on the band. Feet are parallel for this one. And I want you to get a really good strong grip. So if you were using this Feltus band, this is an example of where it's quite useful to have your hand. In fact, I might just demo that because I know a couple of you asked and I talk about them and then I never use them. So if you were standing on the band, you could put your hands, let me just show you, I'm not going to carry on with it, through the loops like so. So you're not gripping, you can hold it like so. I don't know why, I think I've got a particularly short one, but there we go, like that. Okay, so if you're wondering about that and if squeezing the band doesn't suit you, that is an option. Okay, now I want you to hold the band tightly enough that you feel a sense of challenge, a sense of resistance. It's pulling your shoulders down. Now what I want you to do is try to grow up tall. As your hands are pulled down, pull your spine a little bit longer. And I want you to start to feel a good squeeze of your pelvic floor. Okay, now daft as it sounds, if you need to, close your eyes for this one. We talk about a diamond. So just imagine between your legs, imagine trying to pull your tailbone towards your pubic bone, the front and back of the pelvis. And imagine trying to pull your sit bones towards each other. So if you just visualize a diamond shape and you're trying to pull all four corners towards each other and then lift everything up. Now, the reason I've got you holding the band is to give you a sense of opposition, that your shoulders are drawing down as your pelvic floor pulls up. Your arms are pulling down as your spine lengthens. But make sure that having given the pelvic floor a really good squeeze, you then relax, release, and then again start to give it a squeeze. But notice as you put up your pelvic floor, you can't use your hands, they're busy, but notice right across the bikini line, you'll feel a little tightening there. So remember that there's a co-contraction. When we effectively engage the pelvic floor, we then engage our transverse abdominis. So we have that deep postural connection, lumbar multifidus around the back of the body. Internal obliques, pelvic floor, all working to stabilize the pelvis, stabilize the spine. So just take a breath and squeeze and think about lifting and challenging your pelvic floor as much as you can. Really squeezing up to about 10 if you had to, putting that belt up to number 10 and then let everything relax. Some people like to imagine a lift, an elevator in a building. I've talked about a jellyfish, or as I've just referenced there, a diamond shape pulling four corners together. Let's just have another half a minute here. And this is so effective. We know about pelvic floor exercise for incontinence related issues and one or two other bits and bobs like that. But we're thinking here very much about postural support. So important, plays such an important role. Pelvic floor sitting there to stabilize the pelvic girdle, supporting the weight of the internal organs, but helping to support the pelvic girdle with the weight of the spine. And relax. Okay, just become familiar with how you breathe into your ribs, how you connect your pelvic floor. Now try not to move anything, but just very gently draw your shoulder blades back towards each other. And as you do so, can you now grow just a millimeter taller? And then relax everything back down. Let's do that one again. The reason you're holding the band is I want you to notice that as you grow a millimeter taller, notice how the band stretches. And it's just feedback. It's just showing us that we can actually do that. Because when I then say relax, you can see how you loosen the band. So let's put it all together. Breathe into your ribs. Imagine the band is still there like it was at the start. Give your pelvic floor a squeeze. Do you need it at the moment? No, but we want to become familiar with it. Breathing out, squeeze your pelvic floor, grow tall. Arms pulling downward, spine lengthening, stacking that spine. Breathing in, let everything relax, except obviously the muscles around the rib cage. Breathing out to lengthen. Okay. Now this time, breathing in, just bend your knees very slightly. They're just slightly off lock. And the next time you breathe out, nod your head. Remember, this is the start of the roll down. Breathing in, lift your head back to your center. Breathing out, just nod your head. There's some of us still always in a bit of a hurry to get into the roll down, forgetting this neck flexion, cervical spine. Lift your head up. We're going to do that just one more time. And again, a little nod of your chin. And this time, when you're ready, as you breathe out, carry on down towards the floor. It's up to you how far you go, but let your head feel heavy. Now allow your pelvic floor to relax because you're going to engage it in a moment. Now hang here. Breathe into your ribs, and you're going to feel that you breathe much more into the sides and the back of the rib cage. Now, on your next out breath, start to roll back up and pull up your pelvic floor and gently drive your hips forward and restack your spine. Squeeze your pelvic floor. Try not to clench your glutes. Breathe into those ribs. Stand tall. And could you grow just an inch taller? And then let everything relax. So I want you to imagine that you're maxing out here. I want you to imagine this is the most challenging exercise you've ever done, just so that we really become confident with what we're engaging. So then we can choose how much we pull it out, pull it in, whatever. So again, when you're ready, breathing into those ribs, take a nod of your chin, try and touch your nose to your breastbone. From here, soften your knees. From here, allow your spine to lengthen. Roll down towards the floor. Feel the length through the spine. Let your head hang heavy. Breathe into the back of the rib cage. Okay, you ready to start rolling up? As soon as you start to roll up, squeeze your pelvic floor. Imagine trying to suck your pelvic floor upwards towards your tummy, rolling back up, gently pushing your hips forward as you rebuild your spine and stand tall and grow a little bit taller, 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 taller. Give those shoulder blades a subtle squeeze together and relax. Let the band go for a moment. You might want to just let your wrists recover. So our fundamentals, our Pilates fundamentals, lateral thoracic breathing, lateral sideways, thoracic middle back, lateral thoracic breathing, encouraging the ribs to expand and contract like so that we don't interfere here, so that you could put your tummy in as tightly as you like and still breathe efficiently. Pelvic floor connection, TVA, transverse abdominis connection, they co-contract, so get one working, the other follows suit. Shoulder stabilization, length through the spine, long spine, standing tall. Mind-body connection, so we're thinking about our movement. So there we are, we've got that. We're present on our mat. We're not wandering off to pick up our coffee. We're present on our mat and concentrating on our work. Precision, quality of movement, so making every move count. So these are our fundamentals, our principles, that what makes Pilates the unique form of exercise it is, not letting momentum take over. Every time you stop and collapse, pick up your coffee, look at your phone, whatever, you've sort of undone some of the good work, and that's why I know I nag about it, because I'm so passionate about it, and we're having a bit of a chat here. But if you can stay present, stay engaged, you'll get so much more out of your practice. I know some of you are just distracted, and that's how it is. But that's the beauty of being on Zoom, is that you don't then distract others. But if you can, just discipline yourself. So when we finish an exercise, rather than want, ugh, stay there, stay engaged, stay on your mat, stay focused, keep everything communicating so that you're ready for that next ball or that next whatever it is that's coming your way. Let's come down to the floor. Okay, we're going to start with knees bent. You're going to put the band around your feet, and we're going to go into our roll up, which is a really familiar move. Okay, and the band is here to help us. So sitting tall, find that length through your spine. Knees are bent, band across the soles of your feet. Good strong hold on the band. And can you just roll just off your sit bones and roll back up? Now, if you look at me for a moment, my shoulders don't move. And that's what I want to try and achieve with you. So you roll off your, so it's my lumbar spine, my lower back, lumbar flexion extension. So can you just push your hips backwards and then come back up? Now you might not go quite as far as I do if you're a bit tight in your back, but what I want to avoid, which I'm still seeing an awful lot, is leading with the shoulders. This is not a rounded spine. This is not articulation mobility. This is hinging. So keep your shoulders still. Feel the resistance on the band and roll off your sit bones. And back up. So try not to let your shoulders move. Just a couple more. This, what we're trying to achieve here is this. Pelvic tilts ready for bridge. That, look, because obviously your shoulders can't move there because the floor's in the way. But that's the shape that I'm asking you to make. So let's see if we can recreate it. So use the band as a bit of feedback and just roll off your sit bones and back up. And what you're doing is really getting your lower abdominals to work. Bring your pelvic floor into it. Okay, so roll off your sit bones, give your pelvic floor a squeeze. Roll back up, relax. Roll off your sit bones, give your pelvic floor a squeeze. If you can't roll off your sit bones without taking your shoulders, then you're going to find the full roll up quite difficult. This is not relevant to anyone doing this as a recorded class. This is to my class who are with me at the moment. I can see two of you, literally, you're still doing this. So I'm asking you not to let your shoulders move. Just roll here and back up. Don't take your shoulders back. Okay? That is the start of our roll up. So if you really can't get anywhere there, makes sense, doesn't it? You're going to find it much more difficult to roll back up to sitting. So let's start to go a little further. So from here, roll off your sit bones. Start to roll away. Now take your arms with you. Let the band lengthen. We're not going all the way. Curl away. Let your arms lengthen. Now hold for breath. I want you to press your ribs into the floor. Try to leave your ribs behind as the band pulls you back up into a rounded spine, and then sit tall. Roll off your sit bones into a rounded spine. Roll yourself away. Tilt that pelvis. Slide your sit bones underneath you towards your heels. Hold it here. Try and press your ribs down into the floor. Let the band pull you all the way back up and sit tall. Let's do that one again. So I want you to really feel that abdominal work as you roll away. How rounded can you make your spine? Shoulders relaxed. Let your arms fully lengthen. Hold it there. And then think about trying to push your rib cage backwards. Push your ribs into the back of your t-shirt. So if you look at me for a second, imagine if I was with you and I'm pressing your ribs here. I'm pressing into your ribs. As you come back up, I'm literally trying to push your ribs back and then come back up. If you feel happy to do that, you could try that. Hold the band, both ends of the band in one hand, roll away, put one hand across the rib cage, and as you roll up, try and push your ribs away from you and get into as rounded a shape as you can to then roll up and sit tall. And oh my goodness me, There is your abdominal work. Let's just do one or two more, but just to throw a spanner in the works, is anybody still keeping their pelvic floor engaged? Is anyone still remembering to breathe into their ribs? You see, so much to think about, which is why the concentration element, the staying present, is so important. Shoulders relaxed and down. Imagine trying to slide your sit bones in underneath you. Push your ribs back, squeeze your pelvic floor. It's going to give you so much more support. And sit tall. Let's just do that one more time. Roll off your sit bones, round your spine, shoulders relaxed, open through the pelvis. Take the band with you. Let your arms lengthen. Try not to lift those shoulders. Don't use shoulder strength. Use abdominal strength. And curl all the way back up. Whew. And relax. Great work. Okay, nice work. Take the band away. Come onto your back. We're going to use the band again, but let's just do a couple of pelvic tilts and a couple of shoulder bridges just to open up through the hips. So your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor. Just flatten and release your spine. A couple of times. And the next time you flatten, tilt your pelvis, pick up your tailbone and roll yourself all the way up into bridge. Push your hips up skywards and slowly curl back down, keeping as rounded as you can. Into the floor, tilt your pelvis, flatten your back, pick up your tailbone again, peeling your spine away, rolling up into bridge and curling back down. Okay. So we've done the roll up. We're going to go into the 100. Now, the 100 is all about the breath, consistency of breathing, control of breathing. When we start to hold our breath, we create tension. The muscles, the whole system, the whole neural system reacts to that, and it goes into a state of stress. So breath is so important. Now, lift your left leg, put the band underneath your calf, take it over the top, cross it over and hold it like so. So you've crossed it over at the top and you've got your elbows on the floor. Okay, single leg tabletop. So you put the band underneath, cross it over on the top. Now I want you to very gently pull against the band, very gently push into the band. Now, where is the weight underneath you? So this is where concentration, mind-body connection comes in. Is all the weight under that hip? In which case, just press a little more into the weight of the hip, into the hip with the foot on the floor. So reset. Now just hold it here and just 3-4 breaths. Breathe in for a count of 5. And as you breathe out as fully as you can. Now, there are some people who believe that you're supposed to do a very audible breath. That was never the original breathing. Ron Fletcher, who's sort of one of the, Pilates elders, hilarious, was running a workshop, running a convention, losing his hearing and kept saying to him, I want to hear you breathe. I want to hear you breathe. So he got everyone to breathe out loudly so he knew no one was holding their breath. Off the back of that, people have thought it's important to start doing a well, it's not. It was because one of the teachers was rather deaf. So if you want to do audible breathing for you, go for it. That's not wrong, but it's not an essential. It's not a requirement. But what you do need to do is stabilize your pelvis, gently pull against your shin with the band, gently press your shin into the band as you breathe in for 5, breathe out for 5. And I don't know about any of you, but I can really feel my abdominals working here because of the resistance on my shin. Relax, bring your foot to the floor, take the band away. And before we go over to side 2, let's just again flatten, roll up into bridge, lengthen through those hips, send your knees out away from you. Lovely long ski jump, roll back down. And again, roll back up. So hold your bridge here for a moment. Reach out of your fingertips. Try to touch your heels with your fingertips. Try to push your knees forward into the wall in front of you. Try to pull your hips away from your ribs. Lift your hips a little bit higher. So always so much to think about. Roll gently back down. And you may want to just roll your head side to side a couple of times. And then let's go to side 2. So you're going to lift your leg, put the band over the, where are we? Over the top, underneath, I'm so sorry, underneath, cross it over the top. And then you've got a nice strong hold. If you just flop it over the top, it'll just keep moving and it won't be stable. And again, finish off your 100 here. So make it all about breathing into the ribs and working against the resistance. The band is giving us feedback. It's helping to stabilize our leg, to keep our legs still. But if you make sure that you're not putting all the weight onto the side of the lifted leg, you'll feel a lot more connection there through your center. So think about that spirit level. Put a marble between your hips and imagine letting that marble sit directly centered, breathing in through your nose for a count of 5. And as you breathe out for a count of 5, how fully and completely can you empty your lungs? Keep your shoulders relaxed, keep your spine long. And it's surprising, isn't it? A static hold like this, how much work is going on deep inside those abdominal TVA, a lot of focus in there. And obviously internal, external obliques, serratus, intercostals, working with the ribs, expanding, contracting. Okay, relax. Take the band away, and this time bring both knees up into your chest and just give your knees a little hug. Well done. Okay, take one foot out away from you, take your hand to the back of your other leg and use it as a lever to roll you up to sitting. Now we're going to go into a seated. We're going to just check in once again with our breath work. So seated, if you want to sit on your block for this next series, go for it. So you're going to take the band again, open it up so it's not all squashed up, rucked up. Take it around front of the rib cage, cross it behind you, bring it back around and hold it. But make sure that your, excuse me, your shoulders are relaxed and down. Okay, now we're going to add to this one a little bit. So to start with, okay, now I'm happy having my legs out straight. If you want a bend of your knees or you want to sit like that, if that one's better for you, you go for it. Okay, so breathe into your ribs. Find that length. With every in-breath, grow a little bit taller. With every out-breath, let the band press down into your ribs. Breathe in and expand your ribs and find that length sitting on your sit bones. Breathe out and pull your ribs down. Now we're going to add a spine twist. Now imagine flying a kite. One hand pulls and the other hand has to release. But you know the drill here. So the band gives us a bit of a visual. So when I talk about the rib cage rotating, what I want you to do is feel how your band turns. So breathe out and rotate the band. Now hold it. So in that rotated position, hold it for 3 breaths. And each time you breathe out, maybe get a tiny bit more rotation. Breathe into the band. So you're holding it in your rotation. You're holding it for 3 breaths in your rotation. Just one more. Watch you're not looking behind you over your shoulder. Make the rotation come from your middle spine. Back to the center. Okay. So you're not trying not to pull on the band. Okay, there's no need for that. Your elbows are relaxed. There's no pulling here. So let's go side 2. So take a breath in. Breathing out. Rotate away. Hold for 3 breaths. Breathe in and feel how the ribs expand, how the band stretches. As you breathe out, could you turn a tiny bit further? Sit tall, lengthen through that spine. Breathe into the band. Breathe out, turn a tiny bit further. And come back to your center and relax for a moment, because holding a static pose is quite a tough one. So we're going to go back into that, but we are now going to add a little bit of resistance, okay? Hold the band a little bit longer if you need to. Sit up tall, lengthen through your spine. So out on your next out breath, get your spine long, restart. On your next out breath, rotate away. Now this time, take a breath in, grow tall. Breathe out and pull your hands away. And as you breathe in, bend your elbows, and can you turn a tiny bit more? Breathe out, take your hands away. Hold your band a little shorter if you need to, so that you can rotate a bit more. Breathe out, take your hands away. Breathe in back to your center. Do you feel how much work's going on through the waist? Let's go side two. So as you rotate, as you breathe out, rotate side two. Breathe in and expand. Pull those bands away from each other. Breathing out. What am I doing? Breathing out, pull the band away. I'm so sorry. Breathing out, pull the band away. Breathing in, grow taller, rotate a bit further. And as you breathe out, see if you get a little bit more rotation, because it's the out breath that gives us the movement, remember? Because we've got a little bit more space there. In breath, ribs expand and there's a little less room. And then come back to your center and relax and take the band away. So hopefully you can really feel the work. That's why I'm always saying with the spine twist, this is where we feel we need to release. Let's just do that now, because it's the waist muscles that have been working. So remember, don't tip over. You're sitting on both sit bones, coming back up. So there's no movement through the pelvis, stretching up and away, and come back. Now we're going to put our upper foot in the band and lay on one side. If your band is not long enough, I mean, hopefully the standard length of a band should be 1.5 meters. When I buy big rolls of them, I normally cut them into 1.5 meters, give or take. Band should be plenty long enough, but also if it's a very strong one, grab a freezer clip or tie a knot, make a loop and put your foot in it like that. And then you're not fighting it. There shouldn't be any resistance. Come over onto your side. I'm just going to bend my elbow to give me a pillow. You could use a block if you like. Now your hand is going to be fixed on the floor. So as I said, if the band isn't long enough, you've got those options there. Lower leg is bent to give us some stability. So we know that we've just been putting quite a lot of load into the front of the hip, top of the thigh. So I want you to press into the band. You know how I always say in your sideline work to start with, lengthen the upper leg. So let's do that. Press away, press away. If you've got something tangible there, you can feel how you're pushing into the band. Then take your leg back. Then bring your leg to the center. And if you just release and shorten, notice what happens to your ribs. So again, press the band away. Feel how you lengthen. Feel how you get that space underneath your waist. Then take your leg back. Then bring your leg to the center and relax. Let's do that one more time. How are we going off time here? So press into the band, lengthen, pull your hip away. Feel how you lengthen through the upper side. Then take your leg back behind you and come back to center and stay with it this time. Press into the band, relax through that shoulder, take your leg back. Return center, one more here. Press into the band, take your leg back. Return center and release. So definitely work through the abductor, through the gluteal area here, but hopefully also you feel how you got into that connection on your lower side. Now we're going to roll to side two, but we're going to go into a spinal extension before we do. So we'll use that as our transition. So you're going to double the band over in half, come over onto your front, rest on your forehead, and hold the band behind you. Now, your hands are at hip width or thigh width. So your hands are touching your legs. You don't want to be any wider than that, otherwise it'll be much more into the deltoids, not into the trapezius. I want to get into that upper back. So do you remember at the start how I said about squeezing the shoulder blades together? That's where we're going to work. Now I want you to have your legs straight and together. If you can, the knuckles of the big toes and the heels are touching, but that doesn't suit everybody. So if that isn't going to work for you, let your heels fall apart and put one big toe on top of the other one. So you've still got a connection. You've still got what we call a closed chain. Okay, the brain computes that. These are all little messages that are important for the system. So we've got a closed chain, we've got a connection. Try not to let your legs drift apart. Now, I'm kneeling behind you. I'm pulling the band back towards your heels. Feel that resistance and start to lift your head and lift your chest. Don't pull your hands against the band. Pull it back. Put it back towards your heels. Lift a little higher. Lift a little higher. Press the band to your heels and lower back down. So I want you to imagine you're like a torpedo, or you're like an arrow being fired. Are you ready? So as you breathe out, lift your head, lift your chest, keep your legs together, whichever way you've gone for. Now pull your hands back, lift your chest, eye line towards the floor, and breathing in to lower. We're going to do that one again. So belly button up into your backbone, hips heavy to the floor. And again, squeeze your pelvic floor. How are you getting on with that one? Are you still using your pelvic floor? Are you still breathing into your ribs? Lift your chest, pull your hands back, back, back. And relax back down. Relax. Now, just gently press yourself into a 4-point kneeling stretch. Have a little release before we go to side 2. Most of us need to do more back strengthening work. So if you repeat this in the library, or you just remember it and think it's a useful one for you to add to whatever else you're doing, I would say do 6 to 8 repetitions. Okay, today I'm using it very much so we can discuss the fundamentals. But for most of us, we do a lot of focus on the front of the body. We don't necessarily think about the back of the body. Strengthening the back of the body obviously helps us with our posture, helps us with our balance enormously. It's so important. All right, let's go to side 2. So popping a band around your foot. Okay, fixing your hand to the floor. So remember, you're going to start by lengthening. So your foot is in the band. Press away and press with the ball of the foot as well as with the little toe. Then take your leg back. Need to move back behind you. Keep pressing, 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 pressing. Then bring your leg back. Now your upper body shouldn't be moving. Press into the band. Now this time as your leg goes back, squeeze your pelvic floor. Squeeze through the center. And that's going to give you so much more stability. Take your time and relax. Let's go again. Press into the band. Feel how your upper hip pulls away from you. Feel how you straighten up through the pelvis. Now this time press back and return center. Press back, push into the band. Press back, return center. Press back, return center, and relax. Super work, well done. So we've done our seated spine twist. We've done our roll downs for spinal mobility. We've done some open and closing work at the hip and strength through here. We've done some spinal extension and flexion. We're just going to finish with some strength again for the back of the body, but in a different way. Not a new move, it's a familiar one. Come over onto your back and put the band across your hips. Now I'm going to choose to double mine over to make it stronger. Again, that will partly depend for you on length of the band and how strong the band is. So this is the same as we do in the weights classes when we hold a weight in the front of the pelvis, but this is a great way to adapt it. So I want you to keep your hands down when you lift your hips up. So we did some mobility bridges earlier when we were curling up and down and working on really mobilizing the spine. This is the strength one, and I want you to feel right the way from your heels to your shoulder blades working. Are you ready? Pull your hands down and lift your hips up and press into the band. Push a little higher, little higher, little higher, and then lower back down. Now, before we go back into it, are you breathing with consistency? Did you engage your pelvic floor? Did you maintain the length through your spine? Have you got that stabilization through your shoulders? So many things to consider. So keep your hands heavy to the floor. Take a breath into those ribs, and as you breathe out, start to pull up your pelvic floor and lift your hips. And how high can you lift your hips, and how intensively can you engage your pelvic floor? Breathe in as you lower and let your ribs, let your pelvic floor relax. Breathe out, lift. Pull your hands down, squeeze your pelvic floor. Glutes are working, but they shouldn't be overloaded. Breathe in to lower. One more here. A lot of back strength. It's a super one for strengthening the back muscles, the same muscles that we targeted a moment ago when we were laying on our front. And, well, partly. And lower back down. It's hitting the lower back slightly more. We were targeting the middle back earlier. Okay, take the band away and give your knees a little hug there. Well done. Oh, well done. Bring your feet to the floor. Okay, take your knees away, put the soles of your feet together. Just let your knees fall away and just roll your head side to side a couple of times. Gently does it. Breathe. Okay, bring your head back to the center. Bring your knees to the center and just take both knees over to one side. Now remember, your knees stay together. So your lower knee should feel the weight of your upper knee. If there's daylight between your knees, you're not getting that rotation through the spine. Turn your head, look away from your knees. Come back slowly center. Just rest in the center, just a split second. Then away, side two, lower knee, just slightly taking the weight of the upper knee. Turn away. Come back to your center. Take both legs long. Take both arms overhead and stretch it out. And relax. Perfect. Now, bend your knees. Always transition safely and sensibly. This is one of my real whatever's, one of my many, is when people are like, oh, I finished the class, and they launch themselves up onto their feet and then wonder why something's got tweaked or bothered. Everything's just a little more vulnerable because we've relaxed. The whole system is relaxed. The muscles are warm. They're far more stretchy. They're far more pliable. So I want you just to take your time and roll onto one side. From here, press yourself up to sitting. From here, come into a full point kneeling position. And from here, find your own method of bringing yourself back up to standing. And stand tall, and let's go right back to where we started. Heels together, feet turned away, Pilates V. And over to one side. Back to the center. Over to the other side. Back to your center, and I want you just to bring your arms forward. Lift, circle, around. Forward, lift, circle, around. One last time, forward, lift, circle, around. Roll out your shoulders. Stand tall, let your arms hang long. Turn your head, look away over shoulder number one. Keep that length in your spine. Bring your head to your center. Look away over shoulder number two. Back to your center. And relax. Excellent work. So I love going over the basics, the fundamentals, the principles of Pilates. If there's anything there that you still don't feel very confident with, it just isn't making sense, the way I've explained it isn't just clear enough for you, then please let me know. Otherwise, I really hope you've enjoyed it. Well done.